Hi, thanks for joining me in the 249 Marathon Project Week 6 training sessions. In this video, I'll discuss all of next week's training sessions, as well as a topic that keeps coming up over and over with the athletes that I coach, and that is racing during a training block. I'll go through some of the more positive points and then some of the pitfalls that we need to watch out for. And if you do enjoy this content, or if you're following along with the 249 Marathon Project, I'd greatly appreciate you hitting the subscribe button. It just helps hold me a little bit more accountable and make this whole project more achievable. It doesn't cost you anything. You won't get spammed with emails. It's just some way that you can help me out. Week 5 was a cutback week, so my mileage was low, my intensity was relatively low. In week 6, I'm ramping it back up again. Okay, so Monday is normally a rest day for me, but because week 5 was such a low volume week and I want to build back up again, Monday is going to be a 4-miler or a 7K easy pace run. It's also a good opportunity to get some recovery miles from my long, slow run from Sunday, which is 23 miles or 35K. Tuesday is an 8-miler or 13K steady effort run. Pretty straightforward, nothing crazy there. Wednesday is a 10-miler or a 16K easy effort. That's going to sit between my Tuesday steady effort and my Thursday, which is going to be a difficult session. But for Wednesday, it's more volume, low intensity. Thursday is a 10-miler or 16K, a change of pace run. So the first 5 miles or 8K is going to be at a 740 per mile pace, which is a 443 per kilometer pace. The second 5-miler or 8K will be at a 640 pace, which is a 405 per K pace. So it's a real change up and it'll be a strong finish. I'm really looking forward to Thursdays. It's going to be a tough run, but a challenge that I'm going to enjoy. Friday is my normal 5K easy social run. As you know, we're going to have this every single Friday morning. Saturday is a 9-miler change of pace run. 3 miles, 3 miles, 3 miles. So it's 3 miles easy, 3 miles steady, 3 miles easy, or 5K easy, 5K steady, 5K easy. After last Saturday's 5K race, this 5K is going to be a steady effort, okay, comfortably hard. This upcoming Sunday in week 6 is going to be my first real speed endurance Sunday run. So it's another change of pace. The first mile or 2K is going to be easy, kind of a warm-up. The next 8-mile or 13K is going to be sub 7-minute miles, which is sub 420 per K. And then the last 10 miles or 16K is going to be just an easy run. Okay, so I'm throwing some not quite marathon specific pace in, but I'm really starting to ramp up those Sunday extended periods of speed endurance. For strength and conditioning, I'm keeping everything at 20 minutes every single weekday morning, and I'm keeping it at 40 reps per exercise and a minute and a half for the plank. And for yoga, I'm sticking to the 3 days a week. I will also try to get a sports massage in this week. I think it's going to be important. It's been a couple of weeks. And with this week ramping up, especially with the speed endurance, I want to keep myself in good condition. I want my muscles to behave and to not put them at risk of injury. One last thing I need to discuss is I am in the market for a new pair of trainers. I like to keep a good 4 or 5 pairs in my rotation, and at the minute I've got a number of them that are coming to the end of life. I have some everyday runners that I can use for my easier pace runs and my steady runs, my hilly runs, things like that. But I'm looking for another good fast trainer to build confidence and to really start hitting some paces. Okay, thanks for sticking around for this part of the video. Every week I've been discussing some kind of a other topic, not particularly related to this specific week. And this week I'm talking about racing mid-training block. Okay, there's a few good points about racing during during a training block for a specific target marathon. And there's also some pitfalls that we need to watch out for. So when can it be a good idea? Okay. First of all, we all do it. One of the reasons that we enjoy running so much is because we love the buzz of racing. Okay. And it's important to keep that love of the sport. So that is a plus. That is one of the reasons that racing during a training block is a good idea. Secondly, you'll never be able to train at the intensity that you will race at. So you get that extra bit of race-specific adaptation that you don't get out of a training session. So for example, you'll be able to race a 5K or a 10K faster than you'll ever run one in a training session. Hopefully. Right? So that's one of the really good positive things. The other thing that you can get out of a race that you won't get out of a training session probably is the ability to work on race-specific aspects. So for example, fueling, taking gels in a race environment, taking water on the course, working with specific kit. So trying out a new vest, new pair of shorts, new pair of trainers, new pair of socks, anything. These types of things that you can work on in a race environment is probably going to be more beneficial than, say, if you were to do this in a training session. That's another really good reason to race during a training block. There's probably other benefits, and I'd love to hear your take on it and why you like racing during a training block, specifically a marathon training block. Now, as a coach, I'll discuss why I don't like my athletes necessarily racing during a training block. Some athletes, it's fine, and I get to know the athletes as I work with them. So for some of them, it's actually a really good idea. And for others, it's not necessarily a good idea. And here's why I say that. If you're in the middle of a training block, your body should be feeling a bit worn down. You should be feeling tired. You'll not be running your absolute best. You haven't peaked yet. We're not trying to peak yet. So if you're hitting a personal record or personal best during your marathon training block in another distance, say a half marathon, I would suggest our marathon target time is probably not ambitious enough. The reason is we haven't had our taper yet. We haven't had given our body the ability to recover and to get the adaptation from all of the hard stuff that we've been doing. So to be peaking before our target race, maybe we're just not training with an ambitious enough goal. Okay, so let's say we are training with an ambitious enough goal. Okay, and we're not getting a personal record or a personal best. That is where I find it probably the most dangerous for some athletes, because it can have such a negative impact psychologically. So I've been putting all this work in. I've just been trying so hard. I've been hitting my session targets, and I can't run as well in a 5K that I did prior to this, or I can't, I ran a better half marathon 2 years ago. Well, you haven't tapered, you haven't peaked. We have to trust the process, right? So that can really have a negative impact mentally. And that is why I don't personally recommend racing for my athletes. However, some people who understand the adaptation process and understand that we haven't peaked and understands that, I am not trying to be fast now, I want to be fast later, right? For those athletes, this is fine. Yes, you'll get all the benefits that I talked about earlier, right? You'll get the better adaptation. You'll get an opportunity to work on race-specific things, whether that's tactics or strategies or the other things that I mentioned. So just be open-minded. If you really want to race, understand that we're not trying to peak here, and if you are peaking here, maybe we aren't, or maybe we weren't ambitious enough in our targets. So that's a few minutes with the coach. I appreciate your sticking around. I'll have my updates from my training in week 5 on Monday. And until then, have yourself a great weekend, and I will see you then.